Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Abigail, and I was born with a rare birth defect that affects my size and development, and I make videos sharing my life. Um, it is Wednesday for me, and normally around this time I would actually be at church, but I stayed home tonight because um, we're having a work day instead of church, and with my heart rate issues, I just didn't really feel like it would be the best idea to go work. It just seemed like a little too much, and plus it's hot, so um, it's crazy how like summer is almost over now. It's the middle of July, and so it's just crazy how fast summer goes. Um, I said this on my live, but I didn't say it in a video. So, um, basically, I did graduate in 2019. I was homeschooled, and I did graduate, but um, I guess it was maybe about a few months ago, I guess it was. I decided to get back into the PACES, which is the curriculum. We use a Christian curriculum, and they're called PACES. And I got into it here a while back. I decided to start it back up, like when my little brother was in school. But then a lot of things happened, like with my health, and then we got kind of busy with summer stuff, and it just a lot happened, and I was not able to finish the book that I was on. So now, we're gonna order me a new pace, because the pace that I was on, I was like in the middle of finishing, but it's been a few months back, so now I like don't remember any of it. So I'm just gonna redo the pace, but we're just gonna buy a fresh one. And basically, social studies is like it has a few different things in it, but it has like stories in it, and they have a self-test, which is like a pre-test, and then they have like the real test is in the middle of the book. And I think that it's good for me because I do have delays, so it's really good. It's a really good way to like keep myself learning and stuff, even though I'm officially done with school. um, I decided I wanted to get back into the paces because it's always good to keep learning and keeping yourself busy and that kind of thing. You know, talking to my regular doctor, she was like, do what makes you happy and what you enjoy, and um, that's one thing that makes me happy. So I am excited to get back to it. We haven't ordered the pace yet. I actually probably won't start doing it again until August, when my little brother starts school back, um, because it's something that I want to do, like, while he's in school. Um, it'll give me something to do. Also have a few things that I already do, like diamond art and stuff, but I think that it's good to add like some positive things to like my routine and stuff. One thing that I'm trying to think of how to word this. One thing I thought was going to be difficult is to remember how often to flush my feeding tube, which is where you put water through the tube so that it doesn't clog. We were told like every 4 hours we needed to be doing it, like a year ago whenever I first got it placed. But I go like all night without flushing it and it's fine. So I flush it before I go to bed. And then I go all night without flushing it, and then my mom flushes it before she goes to work, and then during the day it's usually around every 4 hours that I do it. So I do like to set alarms so that I'll remember, but usually I feel like most of the time just in my head I usually just remember. I'd say the hardest part about having a feeding tube is probably whenever it's really, really hot outside, like the summertime. My formula can go bad, and if I feed myself bad formula, it can like make me feel bad. So we really got to like watch my formula, make sure it doesn't do what we call turn, which is like where it just gets too hot and gets gross. If that happens, we have to throw my whole bag away and start over. Sometimes I have to do that anyways. Every once in a while I'll get a bad bag and it just will not want to work right. But I get like, I think it's like 3 big boxes of bags per month with like my supplies and stuff. So I get plenty. So thankfully we do have enough that if like 1 or 2 are bad in a box, it's fine. Trying to think of what else I would consider hard about a feeding tube. I would say most of it is, in my opinion, pretty positive. Between how it is now to where it used to be, to where, you know, I was getting sick every time I would eat, that was miserable. You know, there are times, it's not like a hunger issue, but there are times where I do miss how like certain foods taste that I can't have anymore. That's one hard thing about it. And like I said, it's not a hunger thing, it's just like remembering what something tasted like. Which is why I have things like suckers and certain kinds of candies that I can still have by mouth to kind of like fill that craving. Another hard thing about feeding tube is whenever it beeps. Trying to figure out why it's beeping. And it's really embarrassing when it happens in public. Like, thankfully it doesn't happen very often in church, but in especially places like church, it can be really embarrassing if it beeps. Or like in the grocery store and you have to like figure out why it's beeping, because usually there's like a kink or the formula went bad or, you know, something like that. So that could be some hard things about having a feeding tube, but I would say overall it's pretty positive. What else? Oh, I've also gotten my routine down, like, so well. Um, the only part that I really have help with anymore is, um, before my mom goes to work in the mornings, she does flush my tube for me one time. But, that's just so that it doesn't go too many hours without being flushed. But other than that, I pretty much do all of my feeding tube stuff completely on my own. So, yeah. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.